This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Oh my god, it's the last one of the year. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engaging with audiences, and sell anything from products to content to time. All in one place, all on your terms. Hey Spuds, it's Jamie. Welcome back to another video. First one on the channel. I don't know, I lost my flow on my intro, but welcome either way. I'm very glad to have you here. Today we are doing some little Am I the A-hole reactions, reading some lovely little stories. Normally I go for LGBT plus themed, but today I feel like the vibe of this one is maybe somewhat like, are the straights okay? We're gonna roll with that and let's see how it goes. Are you ready for the first story? Am I the arsehole for staying in grad school while my husband is struggling to get a job? I am struggling to comprehend why you would be the arsehole for continuing to stay in grad school, but then again, if it means that the household isn't making enough money, maybe there's pressure. Let's read on. To be fair, he now has a job, but it pays significantly less and was the only one he could get since being unemployed as of July. Okay, so he has a job now. That changes the question. I am a full-time public school teacher, a mum, and a grad school student. Wait a second. This has completely flipped the context, because I was like, there is a scenario where I perhaps wouldn't call this person an asshole, but I'd say maybe life necessities need to be assessed, unfortunately. If one partner is out of a job and you're in grad school and not working, but husband is now in a job and OP is full-time employed as well as going to grad school. So why would there be a necessity to quit unless going to grad school is taking away from something else? I don't know. I wanted to attend graduate school to further pursue my education and have a master's degree that would slightly increase my salary as well as give me more options for the future. I think that's great. Career acceleration, just personal wants, fantastic. Fantastic! I'm well aware that my salary input for my family is low as an educator. Teachers are paid too little. Oh my gosh. I wish I could make more money, and I have thought of leaving education purely to bring in more income for our family. I love my job. I've wanted to be a kindergarten teacher for my whole life. I also love going to school, and on a whim last year applied to my dream university for grad school and got in. I think that's fantastic. She's doing what she loves. She's passionate about her job. I would rather be in a job that paid a bit less, that I loved and I was passionate about, and I didn't feel like it was a slog and a chore to do and didn't make me miserable, than get paid a bit more and do something I hated. But obviously it depends on means, because sometimes taking that pay cut can be detrimental to other things in your life. I now have just 2 semesters left before graduation, but this summer my husband lost his job and we struggle to make ends meet. I feel extremely guilty about grad school. To be honest, my husband makes me feel bad about it too and basically tells me I'm being selfish. What? I'm struggling to comprehend how it's selfish. You are working full-time as well as being a parent. You're in grad school to better your prospects for the future. It seems in the short term the salary increase would be minimal, but you never know how that's going to benefit you in the future. You have put all this hard work into it and you have 2 semesters left, which is what? Is less than a year, right? And he's making you feel bad about it. I don't see how OP is being selfish. It's so hard doing this dream thing while feeling unsupported and that I'm basically an arsehole for sticking it out. Am I the arsehole? No, I don't think you're the arsehole. I'm just trying to think, if I were the husband in this situation, what does her giving up grad school add financially to the family? If they were struggling to make ends meet and she wasn't working because she was going to grad school and having to pay a lot of money out for it, I could kind of see where that was coming from, and there needing to be a realistic chat of, hey, we can't afford this right now. I'm really sorry. I can't find work. You're not in work because of grad school. Maybe you need to go down to part-time and find some work. But she's full-time employed as well as doing this thing to both better herself and better prospects for her family as a whole going forward. I don't see how as a husband you would be unsupportive of that. Does he not like it because he's having to pick up extra things in the household? That's all my head goes to. Because what would she do? Quit grad school but still be having the same job and the same salary? I can't personally see a benefit in her quitting unless it's costing money that they genuinely cannot afford. But there's 2 semesters left. It feels like she'd lose more by quitting than just seeing it out. I don't know. I don't think you're the arsehole. I think your husband sounds like he's being a bit childish and arseholey. Let's see what other people have to say. Not the arsehole. To be honest, my husband makes me feel bad about it too and basically tells me I'm being selfish. This is called projection. Your husband is the one being selfish here. You're already doing 2 jobs and almost done with your graduate degree, and here he is barely hanging on to 1. He needs to stop whining and step up. Not the arsehole. It sounds like he's both selfish and jealous. A master's will increase your salary and add other potential opportunities for you, and your husband should encourage it, especially since it will make you happy. Except, don't you want to be married to somebody who is the happiest, most fulfilled version of themselves? I think that's fantastic. I want to support my wife in whatever dreams she wants to pursue. Do you do most of the housework and family support? Marriage counseling or a divorce lawyer might be your choices. Good luck. I do feel like Reddit is so fast to be like, divorce. On a rare occasion, doing the podcast with Shaba, our wonderful 1-800-DRAMA podcast, if you want more of this type of content, we both have kind of said, maybe this relationship isn't the best and isn't working out. There's not enough information here to say like divorce, because this person's assuming that the husband is having that attitude because he's having to pick up more of the housework and chores and family support, and he doesn't want to do that, which very well could be the case. I could see it being like, straight's not okay. This dude just being like, I don't do the primary childcare. You need to quit grad school to come and do it. But it might not be, and I don't want to 100% assume that's what's going on here. Maybe marriage counseling would be useful, because counseling doesn't mean failure. Not the arsehole. You're literally doing it so you guys will have an easier time in the future. It's possible that he's taking his frustration out on you because he feels inferior. It's important to talk to him about this and clear things up, that you guys are on the same side, not enemies. Ideally, he should be doing side gigs like DoorDash or plasma donation to make ends meet, but that's up to him. Plasma donation? What is plasma? I've heard of blood donation. Am I just being really silly right now? Is it the same as blood? Oh, it's slightly different. Okay, it's in blood. Sometimes guys like to be babied, but they will never admit it or even realize it. Pretty sure he feels defeated losing his job and having to rely on you to support the family. There could definitely be an element of that. It does feel bizarre for seemingly no actual logical reasons. Be like, you must quit grad school, and it's like, but I'm working too. How would that benefit us financially for me to quit this thing that will help us in the long run financially? That was an interesting one to start with, and I felt like this point would be a good time to have a little break in the video and ask you if you remember the video I made about a week ago. I was maybe teasing you about a special surprise that was coming in today's video. Well, it's reveal time. Almost. Hold on for just one more second, please. I've honestly had the most fun this year dipping my toe in and trying out a bunch of very real and genuine and actually not real at all businesses, all to show you just how easy and fun it is to create a website using Squarespace. Some of my personal faves this year include when I tried snail shell bedazzling with slime bright like a diamond, and when I was a guinea pig hairstylist with grinny pigs. All of the businesses and the journeys I've been on this year, as well as Shabra and I's actual real website that is genuinely not going anywhere, were all made possible by Squarespace. Squarespace is full of amazing features, so whatever website you're making, it's gonna be great. One feature that will have you smiling all year long is Squarespace's new guided design system, Squarespace Blueprint. This lets you choose from professionally curated layouts and styling options to build your unique online space. You'll be flipping in love because your website will be tailored to your business or website idea and optimized for every device. Now, I am afraid that I'm not bringing a brand new website to you this month, but I think I have something much better, maybe a little bit better. Different at least. And I wanted to do this to show you just how easy it is to use Squarespace to create custom merch and sell it online. Squarespace's online stores let you sell online, selling items that could be physical, digital, or service-based, and Squarespace has all the tools you need to start this selling process. Also allowing you to sell custom merch from your website. You can design your own products, and then production, inventory, and shipping are all handled for you, saving you time and money. And not only does Squarespace make it easy to create products and then sell them using an online shop, they also make it easy to get paid for your products and services with their flexible payments. This makes checkout seamless for your customers who can pay using credit cards, PayPal, and even Apple Pay. So I should probably let you know what I've been up to this month. I've made a very special 12 trans memes of the year calendar. And although Squarespace does make it really easy for you to get paid for your products, I wanted to give this calendar as a special thank you gift for free to all of you spuds for supporting me this year. If you pop onto Shabra and I's Squarespace website, you'll be able to find the digital download for the calendar right where I had the password locked page last time. I hope you like it. But do go check out Squarespace first, please, because whatever your idea, if you're looking to build a community, if you're an awesome entrepreneur, if you just want to create something fun, Squarespace lets you turn any idea into a website. To get started, go to squarespace.com for a a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Jammidodger for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. The link is in the description box. And thank you so much for listening. And thanks again for all your support this year. So go grab yourself a free trans meme calendar. Now back to the video. Am I the asshole? Wife, 24, thinks I'm a 32-year-old man being sneaky because I don't want her and the boys to come on my work trips. Okay, personally, if I was having to travel for work and Shaba and our future kids wanted to join, I'd be like, yes, please. I mean, I will not be able to join you when I'm doing work stuff, but oh my God, yes, because otherwise I will miss you, family that I love dearly. And I remember growing up and my mum would have a lot of work trips. And whenever we could, in terms of school holidays and stuff, we would join her as a family and we would all go together and make a holiday out of it. And even now, my mum still travels and my parents will often go together when they can find dog care now. They'll go together and make a holiday out of it. And my mum just goes and like does her meetings and then they go and explore outside of work stuff. And so like, I was like, of course, but this is so bizarre. Why would you not want the family that you love to come with you? But it's so normalized to me that is just what would happen. I'm very fortunate to work a job that pays well and allows me to travel the world doing what I love. But sometimes with a wife and 2 boys and a job that requires you to travel isn't ideal. That feels understandable, that traveling when you have a family is not always the best thing, which is maybe why it's nice that they can come with you sometimes. But I'm not interested in other work because like I said, it's what I love and I'm lucky and blessed financially. Sometimes I bring my wife and children on the trips, but this time I decided not to and my wife is getting suspicious and thinks I'm being sneaky. This kind of sounds like, are there trust issues anyway? Because I feel like if I were to say, oh, it wouldn't work very well this time for you to come, Shaba, if we did work separately, there would be no hesitation, no thought of like, is this because you have other plans that are sneaky sneak? So maybe that feels like quite a quick judgment, but obviously I'm speaking about this from my own perspective on life and my own relationship and dynamic and everything, so I don't know how this couple works. Honestly, I don't blame her. I can understand where she's coming from. Lovers get jealous / see red flags and ask questions. I understand that I've had my moments of jealousy too, but the truth is I don't want to bring her and the kids because it stops being a work trip and becomes a vacation where I also get to work while also catering to her and the boys. In her mind, it's like in her mind I'm not working. That was a hot mess. Let's break it down. I know he said he loves his job, but who wouldn't want a work trip to then actually feel like a vacation where you're just doing some work? That sounds great. While also catering to her and the boys. Okay, how this is coming across is he likes his job and he likes these work trips because it means he gets off parent duty for a few days. But parents who work also work and then cater to their families. Who do you think is looking after the kids whilst you're on those work trips? Who do you think is looking after the kids whilst you're in the work meetings? I'm not saying parents can't ever have some time off, but the attitude coming through, it's not like it would seem pointless to drag them all the way out to X place because I wouldn't even be able to see them because you're working so much, and it would just be a lot of money for not even a proper vacation. But you've literally described it stops being a work trip and becomes a vacation. That sounds great to me. Instead of a 3-day trip where I go to work and come back home, it now becomes a week-plus long vacation where we have to do all the tourist things I've done a million times for the last several years. A vacation with 2 boys isn't the most peaceful vacation in the world either, but she thinks I'm being sneaky. I am not saying that every person who works and travels for work and has a family has an obligation to bring their family with them. My personal stance is that would be very enjoyable to me because I would miss my family. If I ever have to go anywhere without Shaba, I miss her. I miss beings that I love when I'm away from them. So the idea that they could come with me is ideal in my mind. But I appreciate that not every work trip is gonna be able to function like a family vacation or allow the time to be a vacation or be worthwhile being a vacation. But these are none of the reasons this guy is giving. Also, how many of these can they possibly do per year? I don't know if the kids are at school age, but surely they can only go when they're not needed to be in any kind of schooling environment. And if they're not school age yet, then this kind of thing, you've only got a few years to experience this with them. Don't you want to show them the world? Don't you want to show your wife and your kids the tourist things that you seem to have had time to do a million times? They're actually work trips that are vacation for you with a bit of work because you've been able to do touristy things on your own without your family. That just feels a bit weird to me. A vacation with 2 boys isn't the most peaceful vacation in the world either. You had 2 children. That is your responsibility to now care for those 2 kids. And yeah, it changes your life, but like deal with it. I'm sure life generally isn't the most peaceful thing with 2 children compared to no children. But that is a commitment that you have made. You leave your wife frequently and she is there caring for your 2 children on her own. That's probably not the most peaceful thing either, whilst you are then being able to see touristy things a million times. But the truth is, I'd rather go do what I have to do, watch some TV in the hotel room without the boys screaming, smoke some stuff, and come back to my family in a couple days. I cannot speak from the perspective of somebody with kids because I do not have kids, but I feel like I can appreciate the fact that sometimes our typical lives feel like a lot and we would like a break. But it seems so unfair. You have had these children. These children exist and deserve to have you as a present and wanting to be their father. And you're basically saying that instead of having a family vacation and sharing these memories with your family, you'd rather watch some TV without the boys screaming. You had those kids. Peaceful TV time is not gonna happen that frequently, right? And if you want an evening out without them, then it's like a babysitter and go out somewhere with your wife. I do think parents deserve respite, but this does not feel like the right way to go about it. Because what is your wife doing whilst you are then watching TV? Does she ever get a chance to go off and have an evening and a night just watching TV, eating food, doing whatever she wants, having no kids around her? Because if it's quid pro quo and you offer her the same time off sometimes, then okay. But then surely if you did that, that's what you could explain and say, hey, you know how I take the boys out for like a father-son day or whatever the heck they're doing so that you can just have some time to chill out or like go see friends and do whatever you want. This is my version of that. Is that okay? I don't think that's what's happening here. I do enjoy the small periods alone, but it's not like I have some secret family I'm traveling to see, nor am I planning trips to purposefully get away. But when it happens, I do enjoy it by myself. This has caused suspicion and a rift in my household. I wonder what OP has said to his wife about why he wants to go on his own. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, if you have kids, you have kids. And it's your responsibility to look after those kids and raise them. And it's your responsibility to have equal responsibility in that looking after and raising as your partner. So to think that it's okay for you to be like, no, don't come because I want a peaceful 2 or 3 evenings without you. I just want to watch MasterChef without children screaming. But your wife doesn't get that same luxury. Why do you think you deserve that? Should I just tell her to come, but wouldn't that be more suspicious, like she caught me? Does that mean I can't take any trips without them anymore? I have to bring them every time. No more solo work trips. I've gone on this trip long before even meeting my wife. What should I do? We have a pretty strong relationship and I would hate for something so small to cause us problems. It sounds like you've not told her the truth. And I think saying the truth is like, hey, when I do these work trips, it's quite nice for me to have some me time to refresh and come back and be as like present parent as I can be. I would like to offer you that same thing. So if I can make my work trips a couple days be that thing for me, and then I take on the boys at another time, and so you can go off and do that thing, I kind of see that as okay if that's how they want to work in their relationship. But for me, like the thing is, I feel so strongly that I can't see why I wouldn't want to show them those places, or at least give them the opportunity to travel to these places and have those experiences, even if I can't experience it all with them. I think, arsehole, tell her the truth about why you want to go on your own. You just want to, I don't know, eat fries in your underwear watching TV on your own. I feel like that might be a little bit offensive depending on the balance of childcare. This one's annoyed me a bit as well because it just sounds like a guy that wants to get away from his kids. What do other people have to say? You're not the arsehole for not wanting them to come on work trips because a work trip is not a vacation, but you are the arsehole for continuously leaving your wife at home with 2 young children with seemingly zero understanding on how hard that is for her. Plus, you don't seem to actually like having a wife and kids. The point of having a family is to actually spend time with your family, not to jet off around the world and smoke stuff and watch telly and do your own thing. It's okay for work trips to remain a work trip. It's just my personal preference that if my family could join, I would love that. But to keep it strictly professional and work, like, fine. I get the same vibe that this doesn't sound like a guy who just wants to keep work strictly work and go on those trips. It sounds like a guy who wants time away from his family specifically. Also, you talk about you having seen the sites a million times, but presumably your wife and kids haven't. Instead of bringing them in your work trips, organize proper family holidays so your wife and kids get to experience the world like you have. And make sure sure your wife gets plenty of alone time too. When you're not traveling for work, give your wife opportunities to go on a trip with her friends or have a weekend to herself or whatever. Exactly. If it's all equal and you get some downtime as a parent, your co-parent, the person that you are raising children with, also deserves that. It cannot just be for you. And if it cannot be allowed for both, I don't see why one person should get it and the other shouldn't. You should be together with how you raise your kids, and you should be wanting to give your kids these opportunities to see the world. Of course you're the arsehole. A vacation with 2 boys isn't the most peaceful in the world. Yeah, have you tried raising them alone whilst your partner goes off on jollies abroad? Your wife is basically a single mother. Why did you even bother getting married or having kids if you enjoy watching TV in the hotel room alone so much? I feel like its priorities change. You don't need to suddenly not enjoy watching TV alone. You don't need to love every second that you're with your kids. Obviously, parenting is a very difficult thing and it changes your life completely, but it's accepting that your life changes completely. I think this is where this one falls into the category of like, are the straights okay? Because this really feels like a guy who's gone,
oh yeah, I'll get married, have a couple kids, and then just palm off on the wife whilst I go traveling and do work.
How much is he traveling every year to have seen the sights a million times in several years? That must be quite a lot of travel. I think if you genuinely love your family and want to fix this, the only real solution is to cease traveling for work and start showing up as a father and a husband more. Take more responsibility with the kids and give your wife a break, since that's what she's been doing for you for however long. If you're doing a job you love and it requires some level of travel, I still think that's okay to do once you have kids, as long as you are allowing your partner some time off with the childcare that you will inevitably get on a work trip, and they're not super duper frequently, like not multiple times a month, because then you're just not present, are you? You seem to enjoy a lot of downtime away from the responsibility of life as a parent. Do you create the same opportunities for your wife? Not the arsehole for not bringing your wife on a work trip. You will be the arsehole if you leave your wife with double the responsibility frequently without the option for some downtime herself. I completely agree with that. And it sounds like his work trips have a lot of downtime for him to be able to see sights like that. Dude, you are the arsehole. It's one thing that you are working, we all understand that, but you are happy to be alone from your family while your wife takes care of 2 little boys with no help. She doesn't have a chance to just watch TV and smoke like you. She's on duty 24/7. She needs a break too, and she hopes while on these trips you will help with your own kids. You just took a younger woman to stay at home with kids while you still enjoy your single life on the trips, and it's not a matter of appreciation, it's a matter of her needing help. I didn't even think of the age gap. What is it? 24 to 32, so 8 years. And I do see that. This is exactly what he was doing before he was married with kids, and he is leading the exact same lifestyle he was in terms of his work life. But there is an 8-year age gap, which isn't the most, but I guess it depends on ages. So if she's 24, he's 32. It doesn't say here how long they've been together, but just I'm 30 with no kids. I could not, and I know plenty of people do it, and like I literally have no judgment for whatever age people feel ready to start a family. 24 with 2 kids feels quite young. They could be twins, but I feel like if they're at that age of not being described as like babies, they must be like 2 or 3 years old. So you've been like this 30-year-old dude having 2 kids with someone who's barely in their 20s, and then you're off still having the same work-life balance that you had before, leaving her alone with the kids. I don't know the scenario any more than that, but I can see where this commenter is coming from. I would agree of like, not the arsehole if your job requires work trips and you go on them and they're not so frequent to the point where they're really pulling you away from your family, and meaning that you're just not taking any childcare responsibilities or being there for your kids and spending time with them. But it was his attitude towards the trip and his family. It felt like they were an inconvenience to him in his life, and that just doesn't feel nice. Your kids and your wife do not deserve to feel like an inconvenience. And third and final one for today. Am I the arsehole for wanting my husband to confront my mother-in-law for sharing our pregnancy news despite us asking to keep it private? Oh my God, she didn't. What I've noticed with doing the podcast and reacting to quite a lot of these stories, there are so many men who cannot stand up to their mothers, who will disrespect their wife and side with their mum even when their mum is acting atrociously. No, you call her out on that shit. Like, what the hell are you doing? You're a grown man with a wife and kids, or kids on the way, and you're siding with your mother who's being an asshole? What are you doing? Instantly, I'm like, you're not the arsehole. If my mum announced something like this and I had wanted to keep it private, or even just Shaba had wanted to keep something private because, you know, we're in a relationship and we're allowed to tell each other things that do not leave the relationship, why would I expect everyone to just be okay if I didn't have anything to say to my mum if she shared something private like that she knew she wasn't supposed to. I would be saying something. It doesn't mean you have to go shout. It's just like a setting boundaries. I'm currently pregnant and wanting to keep it on the down low for now. My first pregnancy ended in loss. That's very sad. And this one is a multiple pregnancy. This is a very fair approach then. It'd be a fair approach anyway, but I can completely see where she's coming from. So I've been really anxious and hesitant to share. My husband and I told his mum and other close family early on with the clear request to keep it private until we were ready to tell others. It's not the kind of news you ever tell people without the consent of whoever's news it is. They have shared it with you. It is not yours to then share wider unless you were given explicit consent to do so. Oh my God. We're only just finishing the first trimester, and recently I received a text from a family acquaintance congratulating us. Turns out they'd run into my mother-in-law that morning and she'd shared the news. This isn't the first time she's gone against our wishes, of course not. I just feel like people like this will constantly disrespect your boundaries. Around 6 weeks, we learned she told an extended family member, even though we had specifically said we weren't ready to make it public and wanted to tell people ourselves when we felt comfortable. So she's told multiple other people about this, not just one. I feel hurt and frustrated that she's not respecting our wishes. Of course you do. I made it clear that I wasn't ready for this to be public knowledge, especially given my anxiety surrounding this pregnancy. I think I have a right to decide who I tell and when, especially with something so sensitive. Of course, even if this was a single pregnancy and you'd never had a bad experience with a pregnancy before, everything here is still well within your right. Everything you're feeling would still be totally valid, but it's got that like extra layer of connotation on it that this person has experienced pregnancy loss and it's a multiple pregnancy. I don't know if this means twins, triplets or more, but there is a higher risk with that type of pregnancy than a single pregnancy. I get so infuriated, one, with people that just do shit like this and are so disrespectful, and two, men who can't stand up to their mothers. I don't get it. My husband is also frustrated by his mum's actions and understands why this is so upsetting for me. However, he's hesitant to actually confront her about it. He feels that saying something would make her uncomfortable and potentially strain their relationship. But your mum saying something has made your wife uncomfortable and potentially strained your relationship. Why does the mother deserve to not feel uncomfortable because she's done something wrong? He told me that if I feel strongly about it, I should be the one to address it with her directly. That's not very fair. You can do it together, but you can't just be like,
oh yeah, wifey, you go deal with the wrath of my mother. I don't want to upset mummy dearest. Please do it for me.
But it's not from me. This is from you.
It's upset him too. Why is he not just growing the F up? I feel like this puts me in an awkward position because I want him to handle it, but he's not willing to, despite knowing how much this is affecting me. Am I the arsehole for wanting him to step up and say something rather than having me handle it? No, not the arsehole. Biggest not the arsehole. Your husband gets a moldy brownie and so does your mother-in-law. I've stolen moldy brownie from Shaba's ones. They're like extra annoying and arseholey. Why would she tell people like that? And even though he will admit that it upset him too and he's not happy, he's refusing to say something. Weird. What are some comments? Not the arsehole, this will only get worse. She will be sharing everything she is told. She has no respect for you as adults. She feels she has a right to share because it's her news. He needs to address it now and you guys need to stop sharing with her until you want everything public. Exactly. It requires really strict boundaries with somebody like this. Also, if she's told two relatively distant people who have then told you that they know, there will be so many people that know that OP doesn't know about because they don't have direct contact with OP. She'll be telling all her friends, everybody she knows, probably the frickin' postman knows.
Postman Pat and his black and white cat.
Not the arsehole. You know that mother-in-law needs to be kept on a strict information diet. I'd be more concerned about your husband's lack of a spine though. Yeah. You can control now that level of information that you tell your mother-in-law. My concern would be if her husband can't stand up to his mum in this situation, would he really respect her wishes about not telling his mum stuff and telling his mum things later on down the line when they're happy for loads of people to know things? He would also probably state,
oh, I don't want to make her feel left out and strain our relationship because she was the last one to find out.
But she'll never understand why she's the last one to find out if he doesn't have this conversation with her. So I do agree with this. I would be more concerned about the husband's attitude in this than the mother-in-law's. Excuse me? Make her uncomfortable? Your husband's answer basically shows that it is actually not a problem for him. If it was, he would talk to his mum, not the arsehole. Yeah, or he is just really hesitant to speak to his mum. for whatever reason. Yeah, so what did we have? Not the arsehole, not the arsehole. Great, wonderful. We love Am I the Arseholes? If you like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to go check out Squarespace using the link in the description box, and go to sharperandjamie.com at some point to get your free calendar download as a little thank you for all your support this year. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Much love. Bye.